my first job was at the Regal on Phillips Highway. I happened to be working with Hacker at the same time. It was both of our first jobs, and he got hired before I did. I came to work one day, and here's this Hacker guy. I didn't even know his first name at the time. Ryan, had no idea, and he started quizzing me about sports stuff, right? Like names of stadiums and this kind of, he's like, are you really a sports fan? Like that kind of thing. And I apparently passed the test then. And Hacker had gotten a job here locally in sports and knew that I was really interested in it. So when another opportunity came open, he talked to me about it. I interviewed, interned, and here we are. I don't even know. Hacker could tell you the exact number of days later. For me, it's 20 plus years now that I've been doing sports radio in some capacity. My job interview was with Mike Dempsey when I started working in sports radio here in town. And I got the job as an intern, and I was doing a fishing show on Saturday morning. Was my first gig on a board to be a board op and a producer. And, it's nerve-wracking the first time you get on there. You get used to it, and you put in the time, right? It's one of those things where whenever we're on location, inevitably, we'll have somebody that walks up and asks, hey, I'm interested in doing sports radio broadcasting of some kind. What advice would you give to a young person who's trying to do this? And my advice has been the same forever. If you are going to college and they have a college radio station, work there. Just get hours on a board. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Just get hours getting comfortable with the technology that you're going to be dealing with. Get used to talking into a microphone. That's how it started for me. And years later, I was, it took 3 or 4 years, but I finally got the opportunity to host like a highlight show for an hour, 4 days a week on the radio station, which I thought I was, I might as well have been a studio host on ESPN. That's how cool that was to me, to have that kind of opportunity to do that kind of thing. And eventually landed here at 1010XL when the station was opening up as a producer and a board op. And Dempsey, who, as I said, was the guy who interviewed me for my first job in radio, knew me. We were good friends. He asked me if I'd want to sit in for a couple days a week on what was an afternoon show at that time from noon to 3 here on 1010XL. I sat in a couple days a week, and it turned into hey, why don't you just make this what you do? And we're going to do the show together. And when the radio station here was getting the Jaguars, we were going to be the flagship station for the Jags. That's a ground-moving thing, right? To have the opportunity to be the home for Jacksonville Jaguars football. And there was an idea that had been floated out that we're going to do a 2-hour show every day from down in the stadium, 10 to noon, and it's going to be Jaguar-centric. All we're doing is going to be talking Jag for 2 hours. Dempsey had been offered the opportunity to be on the show, and he talked to me about it. He's like, hey, I want you to do this with me. And so we found a place for me to join him on the show at that time to be the co-host on Jaguars Today. And we've had different guests on. Obviously, we go through, especially in football season, we'll have our regular crew of guys. We talk to Jeff Lageman every Tuesday. We talk to David Garrard right now in season every Monday. I can remember one of the first things that Mike and I talked about for this show was Twitter had just come around. So we were still in message board talk, at the time, essentially in our minds, but it was the idea of we're a billboard for the fan base. And that's what we want the show to be. We want it to be a place where every day Jaguars fans, and now with being able to post it on demand, it makes it even easier to do this, but make it a community for Jaguars fans where they know every day when they turn it on for 2 hours, what they're going to get is that. I mean, you couldn't have told me 20 years ago that I'd ever get an opportunity to do something that incredible, to be around an NFL team the way that I get to be around an NFL team season in, season out. the way that I get to do that right now. I get to sit down in the studio every Monday with David Garrard. Are you kidding me? With Jeff Loggeman? You know, like I pinch myself virtually every day that I get that opportunity, and we try to bring that enthusiasm to the fans. One of the things Steve has always focused on is we're a Jacksonville radio station, and we need to be talking to the people of Jacksonville about the things that the people of Jacksonville care about. And you can turn on any other station if you want to. You can turn on ESPN if you want to on TV to get what's going on with the whole thing, or if you want to get the same story about the same 4 or 5 NFL teams over and over. I'm tired of hearing about Dallas, and I'm an NFL fan. I don't care what's going on with the Dallas Cowboys nearly as much as we care about what's going on with Jacksonville. And it's been a radio station that is focused on local, from the amateur and high school level on through to the partnership that we obviously have with the Jaguars now and the Florida Gators now. It's always been about being live and being local and giving the people of this city an opportunity to hear about what's going on in their city. And I've been so thrilled that the city of Jacksonville and that the fans of the Jaguars have accepted the show, have accepted the station, have accepted me as a part of that community and as a part of that family here in the city of Jacksonville.